Chapter 7, United Nations. The day of the International Diplomacy Field Trip, you're gathered with your whole class in the lobby of the United Nations. Keep it calm, Danielle. Today is just a field trip, not a disaster waiting to happen. Remember, class, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to see international relations at work in a real-world setting. What you learn today will tie into your final debate project, so it's up to you to make the most of your time. I need to pay attention today. No way I'm letting Riley distract me into getting a bad grade, especially with my dad here. You give your dad a smart, knowing nod, but when you think all is going well, his gaze passes over Riley and immediately darkens. Don't forget this is a place of business and importance. You represent VCSU, so your behavior matters. Sir. Yes, sir. Ignore him. The less I have to do with Riley today, the better. You try to keep your eyes forward, but a flash of movement has you glancing over at Riley, only to find him shooting you a flirtatious wink. You can practically feel your dad vibrating with anger at the front of the room. So Riley did that on purpose just to make Dad fume. Thankfully, the tour guide arrives when your dad can give any more lectures, or Riley can make any more trouble. Welcome to the United Nations. If you'll follow me, we'll start in the historical wing, dedicated to some of the world's most important treaties. You tuck your hands behind your back and follow the class, listening intently to the descriptions of wartime treaties until... This place sure is bleak, isn't it? War history is so depressing. You tamp down the surge of annoyance as Riley drifts to your side, his hands tucked behind his own back in an exact imitation of yours. Can't you go find someone else to bother? I could, but there's no telling what I'll do if I don't have the professor's daughter to keep me in line. And here we have a Treaty of Paris, known for officially ending the American Revolutionary War, and still in effect today. Even though we all know about this particular Treaty of Paris, can anyone tell me how many other treaties have shared the same name? You start to raise your own hand, but Riley's low voice stops you short. I've always wanted to visit Paris, the romance, the wine, the women. There are a total of 31 treaties of Paris. You resolutely ignore the feeling of Riley's gaze raking over you from head to toe, even as you feel a warm flush rise to your skin. Most treaties are named for the city where they are signed. Because Paris is such an important political center, it's been used since 1229. Very good. Not many people know that. Danielle is one of the most promising students when she's not being distracted. You feel your dad's eyes on you as your tour guide moves to the end of the hall. Not all treaties have to do with ending wars. Some of our most intriguing alliances have been forged in the bedroom, rather than the battlefield. Now this is much more my style. Historically, political marriages have been used to strengthen relations between nations. They rarely start as romantic, but some end up that way. One of the most famous examples was between Cleopatra, the pharaoh of Egypt, and the richest person in the world, and Julius Caesar, the famed general of Rome. Ah, yes, beauty-betting brawn, my favorite approach to world peace. Riley sounds so smug that your hand shoots up before you realize what you're doing. Yeah, but they were never technically married. Caesar already had a wife back home. He was just basically using Cleopatra for his own ends. Actually, they were using each other. Caesar needed Cleopatra's money to fund his armies, and she needed his political strength to take the throne from her brother. Their intense romantic relationship only strengthened what was already there. In the Egyptian tradition, marriage was recognized. You can feel Riley's body shifting closer to yours, his head dipping low to your ear. Seems we could learn a thing or two about diplomacy from them. Riley, you're definitely no Caesar. Caesar was a strong, intelligent, powerful leader. All you do is throw frat parties and get in the way. It's harsh, Lambda. Especially since I was just gonna say that Cleopatra's beauty has nothing on yours. Uh-oh, do I sense a disagreement between parties there at the back? You jolt your attention back to the group. Everyone is turned to stare at you and Riley, including your dad. No, we're fine. Everything's fine. Actually, our two nations are currently in dispute over a piece of land and a throne. We wake up every morning only to lock horns and anything else we can find at hand. What he means is, we want the house for the same house for our Greek orgs. It's not as dramatic as Riley makes it sound. There was an administrative mix-up, that's all. We could use a little political intervention, but Danielle is too scared to put it all on the line. I am not. The tour guide takes one look at the anger mounting to your cheeks and claps. Excellent! Sounds like a perfect opportunity to practice some real-life diplomacy. We were going to ask for a volunteer demonstration of a mock debate anyway. Why not tackle an actual conflict? I'm not sure this is a good idea. Me neither. I am, especially if we can take a page out of Cleo and Caesar's book. He lowers his voice until only you can hear and feel the whisper of his breath down your neck. Explosive tension and all. Eye roll. Something about the rumbling challenge in his voice sends all your qualms flying out the window. You step towards him, challengingly narrowing your eyes. You're on, Riley, and in big trouble. Debate and role-playing happen to be two of my favorite things. Oh, a fan of role-play, huh? Consider that noted. You ignore the tension already starting to build between you just in time to hear your dad pipe up from the back of the group. Just watch. My daughter will put coin in his place. The rules are simple. You two will roleplay as Cleopatra and Julius Caesar, respectively. I always knew I was born to rule. Since you have real-life house dispute, we'll have you tackle that issue in character. You lean towards Riley and lower your voice so your dad won't hear. This should be easy. Cleopatra was a tough, sexy beach who got things done, just like me. Even I can't deny that, but that doesn't mean you'll win. If you both are ready, we'll begin. Now. Riley straightens his stance and turns to face you, every inch the statesman with his charismatic smile and overconfidence. I can settle this one with one word. Power. In other words, I have it and you want it. Your irritation mounts as only 5 seconds into the thing, Riley is already claiming more than he deserves. Power is useless without a good reputation like mine. Sure, Caesar, you have armies and strength, so what? You turn to face Riley, taking on a queenly bearing and haughty expression. I, Cleopatra, am one of the most beloved by her people, the one who charitably puts their needs above her own. Very true. At the time, Cleopatra was a much more positive public figure than Caesar. Charity isn't everything. I also have powerful alliances and well-supported troops. Didn't those troops end in a civil war? Whereas my allies were with me to the bitter end. It's not my fault everyone envies my impressive brain. Confident that, despite Riley's barbs, you scored the first point, you stand a little taller and pat Riley's arm, letting the touch linger. If all Caesar here has to offer is a little muscle and a few kegs, why should I concede anything? Instead of backing down, Riley cocks his head and rakes his gaze over you. Because, Cleo, you know as well as I do that there's more to life than always playing by the rules. The only way to go down in history is to go down all the way. A few shouts and laughs from the class cause you to flush from head to toe, but not nearly as much as your dad, who sees near the back. Caesar needs to make me a real offer. You decide to take the moral high ground, make your dad see that you won't be distracted by a man like Riley. Historically, Caesar offered actual physical assistance to the queen his troops helped secure her throne. You trail your fingers down Riley's forearm, trying your best to hide where your heart races at the sight of him. So, Let me ask you, Caesar, what are you offering me? That depends, dear Cleo. What do you want? I think we both know the answer to that. Oh, I think we might be getting a little off topic here. Actually, we were finally getting to the point. And just what's that supposed to be? You inhale sharply as Riley takes your hand in a conciliatory gesture, but the way he runs his thumb along your palm is anything but friendly. Easy. Why are we waging war against each other when we could be so much more powerful if we join forces instead? The suggestion in his voice is clear, and you do all you can to suppress a shiver. You pull your hand out of his. Nice try, but I doubt my co-leader, Ptolemy, would be willing to accept such a deal. Ah, but that's where things get interesting. Cleopatra got around Ptolemy by smuggling herself into Caesar's room late one night, rolled up in a carpet. Riley cocks a quizzical eyebrow at you. Everything about him exudes confidence, power, and toe-curling challenge. A beautiful woman rolled up tight would make one hell of a political bribe, don't you think? Yeah, but only if we use the opportunity to have serious negotiations. Your whole body breaks out in a shiver as the thought of offering yourself to Riley as a bribe, but you strongly repress the feeling. I assume Cleopatra and Caesar did more than just hook up that night. I guess that depends on how persuasive Cleopatra's tongue was. As if spurred on by Riley's words, your own tongue darts out to wet your lips, and his sharp gaze tracks its movements. Wouldn't you like to know? If we go the way of Cleopatra and Caesar, I'd need to guarantee my leadership position stays intact. Done. Cleopatra kept her power after becoming Caesar's lover, after all. Something in the air shifts, as if propelled by some unseen force. You and Riley step closer towards one another, your head tilting up towards his. Wait, you guys aren't seriously suggesting sleeping together as a way to resolve this, alright? Why not? It worked for two of the most politically savvy historical figures in the world. The way I figure it, we might as well give it a try. Oh, until her dad knocks the shit out of you. Your tongue cleaves to the roof of your mouth as you realize that Riley means every word he's saying, and that you wouldn't mind to go at it yourself. That's quite enough of this demonstration. Oh god, I forgot about Dad. Yep. You jump back as though burned heat rushing the surface of every inch of your skin. I think we get the idea by now. Let's move on to the rest of the tour. The class starts moving again. Several students surround Riley to shake his hand and slap him on the back. You're left to the rear with your dad only a few steps behind. I hope you learned a lesson from that, Danielle. In the real history of Cleopatra and Caesar, her people were not all happy with the arrangement. Dad, it was just a silly debate. I'm not literally Cleopatra, and Riley is definitely not Caesar. You do your best to hide the way your heart is beating a mile a minute, but your dad studies you long and hard that you start to fidget. I hope you can keep that in mind, especially since neither Cleopatra nor Caesar met a happy ending. That may be true, but at least they lived their lives to the fullest. Can I say I'm doing the same? You allow yourself a brief glance at Riley, only find he's looking right back at you, the gaze filled with heat. That's because he just wants to get in your pants. I'm just saying, as the tour eventually comes to an end, your dad once again resumes his place at the front of the class. We have 1 hour before we head back to campus. In that time, I'll assign everyone a country. Your task is to partner up with another student to draft a trade agreement based on your country's resources. Danielle, I've assigned you Devotia. Mr. Coyne is now the proud leader of Monaco. Let's see who else. As he continues to hand out countries, you can't help but roll your eyes at how obvious he's being. Devotia and Monaco are two different nations, or are as different as two nations can get. Dad'll obviously do whatever he can to keep me and Riley separated. Feel free to use any of the public spaces here at the UNN faculty, as long as you make sure to meet the bus in 1 hour. As everyone scatters to partner up, Riley settles up to you with his usual carefree gait. Hey there, Devotium. I hear your nation is in need of a new trade partner. We could swap resources, ideas, saliva. I'm not picky. Riley, do you ever take a break from diplomacy and maybe try thinking with your own brain instead of your groin for once? Oh, trust me, I'm quite skilled at using several body parts at once. He snakes an arm around your waist, his body heat seeping into your skin. But if you're struggling, I will happily lend you a hand anytime. You pull back from him and start to walk away. Pick a different partner, Riley. There's no way we could make any alliance between Devotia and Monaco work. Oh, come on, Danielle. A political marriage between us could be the exact thing we need to bring Lambda and Omega together. You ignore him and keep moving outside of the gardens, where most of the students have started to pair off. Unfortunately, he's the only one that stepped behind. Really? What part of pick a different partner don't you understand? I'm serious, Daniel. I'd like to get a decent grade on this, and if we could make Devotia and Monaco alliance work, we might even get an A. Your dad might be a hard ass, but in case you haven't noticed, I never back down from a challenge. You pause, the wisdom of his words starting to make an impression. This could be a great opportunity to show my dad you're not corrupting me. Is that what he thinks I'm doing? Corrupting you? His lips curve into a slow smile that elicits a heated response from your entire body. You could at least pretend not to enjoy it so much. Oh, so it's settled then. We'll strengthen the relations between Devotia and Monaco, and then move on to the relations between you and me. Riley. I meant Lambda and Omega, of course. Don't go getting a dirty mind on me. A pair of you move towards a bench and pull out your laptops, determined to make the most of your time until the bus arrives. We should start by listing all the things our respective countries have to offer by trade. Devotia is known for its art, gold reserves, and huge supply of old, boring people. What are you talking about? Wasn't it in the news recently for its super low birth rate? Their whole platform being virtuous. Which, if you ask me, is a code for nobody enjoying a little horizontal tango. You roll your eyes and act quickly to turn the tables. What about Monaco? They're always in the news for some new scandal. Exactly. It's where rich, good-looking people go to enjoy nude beaches, drag races, and casinos. You know, there's no shortage of banging. Hard as hell eye roll. Riley, do you ever think about anything else? Doesn't it get exhausting? You'd think you'd need a break at least 1 hour out of the day. He slings his arm a little too casually over the back of the bench, his fingers trailing just above your shoulder. Like it or not, it's what keeps the population going. A little thing that the devotions are learning for themselves the hard way. He leans in eagerly, his voice filled with the enthusiasm you've never heard from him before. Think about it, Lambda. Since Monaco has all the tourism money, they could easily provide free housing and support to the younger devotions for the few years. They will have a little fun, knock each other up, go home with their arms full of babies. It's foolproof. Be serious. You can't, your way out of the problem. Sure I can. At the current rate of repopulation, they're looking at a 20% decline by the year 2050. Young people are leaving in droves. The unrealistic expectations of the elder generation are pushing them away, and they don't even know it. It's almost like it's mirroring real life, but it's not the older generation, it's the newer generation that's lowering the birth rate. You sit back against the bench, stunned by everything he's saying, and how calmly he's saying it. As you do, his hand brushes against the back of your neck, and you realize how close you're sitting. If nothing else, the young people can experience a new way of living. They might even enjoy it. Do you always think so out of the box? You think I'm just some self-obsessed prick, and a lot of times I am, but I do have some good ideas sometimes. He shifts closer, the warm length of his thigh pressed against your own. This close together, you can feel each flex and twist of his muscles. Last year, one of the Omegas was having a hard time with his self-confidence. Couldn't even open his mouth near a girl without almost throwing up. Poor guy. Low self-esteem can make college really rough. It can make life really rough, too. It can. So I got Omega to do a Fox speed test thing. Everyone participated, striking up conversations and helping improve his game. Well, his game didn't improve, but now he can enter a room and find at least one person he's comfortable around. That makes a difference to someone like him. You turn your head to study him, suddenly seeing him in a new light. Does Riley actually have some substance behind that style? Could he just want people to be happy? Uh-huh. Uh-oh. Did you just fall a little bit in love with me? Riley, you are the last man on earth I ever fall in love with. All your heartfelt feelings disappear in a puff of annoyance. Well, seriously, if it was a choice between you and a lamppost, I'd pick the lamppost. Damn. You sure about that? I've got skills that the lamppost could only dream about. You roll your eyes and start timing up your half of the trade agreement. Okay, so obviously Devotia has to give Monaco something in return. And if you turn into something dirty, I swear I'll never talk to you again. Lambda. So much anger is such a cute package. What if Devotia loaned some of their world-renowned paintings for the same amount of time? That way Monaco could display them in their museums to help boost tourism and class things up a bit. I guess a little class couldn't hurt. You both spend the next 20 minutes typing up your assignment, but by the time you send it to your dad, you're feeling surprisingly great about the deal you brokered together. I guess you aren't as bad as the whole international relations thing as I thought, Coin. He pulls you to your feet with an exaggerated grin. Instead of releasing your hand, he holds it fast, his thumb rubbing slow circles against your skin. That's because relations of all kinds are my specialty. Your skin tingles from his touch. Even though you don't want to let go, you can see all the other students starting to pack up and head out. We should probably head to the bus. We don't want to be late. I have a better idea. Let's miss it. What? How would we get back? The train, obviously. In the meantime, we could strengthen the union of two nations with a night out on the town. You stop, your whole body on alert as you realize what he's suggesting and how much you want it. Dad will be busy grading the assignments that he won't notice if I'm on the bus. And even better, Dahlia will know nothing about it. We deserve to celebrate after all of our hard work, and I know a sexy little place that would help even the most uptight devotion let loose. You can already see some of your classmates gathering to head to the back onto the bus. Riley shoots a sidelong look and a daring smile. Well, Danielle, should we seal this truce with something a little more substantial? I think Monaco is turning out to be a bad influence on me. Riley takes you by the hand with a triumphant laugh. As soon as the coast is clear, he sneaks you towards the side exit, hidden in a garden wall. How long have you had that scoped out? Since we came here, obviously dark corners, hidden alcoves, secret exits are my specialty. You follow him out of the side door, pausing only to shoot your dad a text saying you'll find your own way back. Riley notices and laughs. You just can't help following the rules, can you, Lambda? You'd better be worth my dad's fury. He's gonna be pissed when he finds out that I'm who I'm with, so you'd better make it worth my while. Oh, I promise you won't be disappointed. He flashes you a troublemaking grin that makes your heart flop over in your chest. And if you are, you can punish me any way you want. Riley leads you through the city streets with your hand still in his. You stumble after him, feeling oddly light. Where are we going anyway? I've never been to this part of the city before. With all the talk of Monaco's illicit pleasures, I figured we should get in the spirit and do something wild and showy. We actually have some new artwork, I'm shocked. He stops in front of a nondescript building and pushes open the door. As soon as you step inside, you realize where he's brought you. A burlesque show? You dig in your heels and wrench your hand out of his grip. Is this your way of hitting on me? Because if so, it's not gonna work. He shoots you a challenging grin, his gaze sweeping you from head to toe. Trust me, Lambda, if I was hitting on you, you'd know it. Burlesque is about letting loose and feeling confident in yourself. Two things I think we both know you could use a little more of in your life. You're ushered to a table near the back, dark, secluded, with a clear view of the dancers on the stage. Women wearing nothing but a thong and pasties gyrate on the stage, her body mesmerizing dance of exposed skin and generous curves. Oh wow, she's not afraid to let it all hang out, is she? That's exactly my point. She has nothing to hide, and neither do you. The only difference is she's not afraid to own it. The woman's performance ends and another takes the stage, this one with an enormous snake wrapped around her waist like a coil. How does she make that so sexy? As the animal winds and twists around her body in time to the throbbing beat of the music, you find your own body starting to react, especially when he dips his mouth low to your ear. You can feel it, can't you? The way her power tames that wild animal. Your throat feels dry as you watch the snake slither between her thighs, its serpentine scales sliding over her sweat-slick skin. Your own thighs start to throb with a need to feel the same. Drop my hand to Riley's thigh, clamp my leg shut. Biting back a whimper, you draw your legs together as tight as you can before realizing your mistake. Oh god, I think that just made things worse. The clamp of your thighs only increases the pressure mounting up inside of you. I had no idea I could be so turned on by this show. As the song comes to an end, you can feel something in the air shift. There's a feeling of tension, expectancy, and you don't just mean the kind of throbbing low in your belly. This is part of the show where I invite one member of the audience to take over. There are no rules, no requirements, just you, an empty stage, and a crowd full of people watching your every move. Before you realize what you're doing, your hand shoots up. Now there's a plot twist. Wait, what am I doing? I can't! You don't have time to finish that thought before the dancer is crooking her finger and beckoning you to the stage. You get up and walk on shaky legs, terrified but unable to resist. Good for you, honey. You won't regret this. As soon as you take the stage, you panic. All eyes are on you, the music pulsing in a way that heats your blood and makes you want to run and hide. Just do what feels right. Authenticity is everything in the burlesque. Just when you think you might turn tail and flee, you catch Riley's eye. Instead of looking amused at your fear or disappointed in your stiffness, he looks incredibly turned on. Heart racing, you hold Riley's gaze and start gyrating your hips in time to the music. As your hands slide slowly up your sides of your body, the crowd breaks out in applause. Yo, go girl, show us what you got. Riley's tongue darts out and touches the edge of his lips, his whole body straining forward as you toy with your neckline. I'm going to take off my top and shimmy, show off my behind. You turn around and arch your back so that your ass curves towards the audience. Risking a peek over your shoulder, you slide one finger coyly into your mouth before drawing it slowly back out again. Damn, that's hot. Are we sure she isn't a plant? What? Yes, she grows outside. We took her out of the pot. No, I know what they meant, but you know, emboldened by the catcalls and Riley's hot, intense gaze, you bend over and touch your ankle before slowly sliding back up again. Everyone in the place is checking me out, and I think I like it. You're unbelievable. The last of your fear ebbs away as you begin toying with your waistband, and you start to draw the fabric lower and lower down your belly before an even better idea occurs to you. If I'm going to be a strong, confident version of myself, then I have to go all the way. You jump down off the stage and hold a hand out to Riley. Here to join me, Coin? Don't worry. All you have to do is watch. I can honestly say I've never had a better offer in my life. You pull him up on the stage, drag a chair forward with a stern, sexy pout. You point him towards it. Sit. I'll do it if he won't. Riley falls to the seat with a sound almost like a groan. He looks as dazed as you feel as you lower yourself into his lap and begin grinding your ass against him. You never fail to surprise me, Lambda. His hands come up and lightly touch your hips. His breathing comes hot and heavy as he starts to guide your movements. He's the one who goaded me into this, and now I'm the one who holds all the power. I'll let his hands wander all over my body, dance just out of his reach. Yeah, that's torment. You fling yourself up off his lap, leaving him panting and straining for more. With a wicked grin, you move around to the back of the chair and sway to the beat. You whirl around him, your body swinging like a pendulum just out of reach as he watches. He grips the side of the chair so hard that his knuckles grow tight. You can look, but you can't touch. Believe me, Danielle, I'm looking. His voice is a groan as his eyes follow your every movement, his whole body straining to keep from showing how much he's enjoying the show. Just when the crowd seems to fall away, leaving only you and him alone on the stage, the music comes to a crescendoing finish. Well, that was one hell of a performance, you two. I'll say. You coming back next week? You can barely believe your ears as the crowd bursts into applause so loud that it rattles the walls. Come on, superstar. Riley takes your hand and leads you off the stage, the rush of adrenaline and thrill of his skin against yours making a heady, dizzying combo. But, more than anything, as Riley leads you towards the exit, you feel exhilarated. I can't believe I just did that. What did I tell you? Burlesque is all about letting loose and feeling confident, and you did both. You move as if underwater all the way to the train station, where Riley books you both a ticket and settles you into your seats. As you sink gratefully into the upholstery, you let your head fall onto his shoulder. He chuckles as he wraps an arm casually around your shoulders. Thank you for that, Riley. I didn't realize how much I needed it. You're brave, bold, and you have enough charisma to hold an entire room spellbound. It's high time you realized it. Your body still buzzing from the adrenaline and the heat of the show, Riley's genuine compliment hit you harder than ever. When you say things like that, I can almost believe you mean them. He glances down at you with so much heat in his gaze that your breath catches. I do mean them, Danielle. His hand cups the side of your face, his thumb grazing lightly over your mouth. I have yet to see you back down from a single fight. Every time I think I have you beat, you throw me a massive curveball. Riley. Reach over and take his hand, allowing your fingers to tangle with his as you curl up next to him. I have no idea how burlesque dancing turned you into such a romantic. Despite his teasing words, his arms around you pulls you closer. Your heartbeats sync up as the train rocks gently to and fro across the tracks. Don't ruin the mood with your smart mouth. You think you can feel the soft press of his lips at your hairline, but it could just be your imagination. Whatever you say, Cleopatra, you're the boss. You arrive home late, but without incident, Riley keeping pace with you every step of the way. Not a bad day if you ask me, Lambda. We make one hell of a team. You roll your eyes at how pleased he sounds with himself, but there's no time to respond before your phone pings with an email notification. Oh, it's your grades on the trade agreement. Dad must have finished them on the bus. You open the document, but instead of a positive feedback you expect, there's a big fat F on the top. Wait, what? We failed? No way, let me see that. Riley mutters incoherently and curses. Your mind starts racing a mile a minute. You don't understand this at all. I wouldn't say it's because he had a stupid idea. I let Riley be a bad influence on me. No, I mean, it was an okay agreement. We'll go with stupid idea. Screw it. I knew that whole baby-making scheme was a bad idea. Why did I let him convince me otherwise? 0 points for creativity. What the hell is more creative than procreation tourism? I can't believe I fell for all the BS you were shoveling. I've never gotten an F in my whole life. What am I gonna do? You step inside the house and rush to the AC unit, kicking it up a high to combat the heat. Prickling shame washing over you, the cold waves of air feel amazing on your flustered skin, until clouds of glitter billow out of every single vent in the house. What? Oh, it's in my eyes! Oh yeah, here we go, baby, it's time! It whirls, everyone rushes in the foyer at the same time as soon as you gaze, lands on Riley and a smirk. Your confusion transforms into red-hot rage. What have you done now? Nothing. Yet. A glitter bomb in the HVAC system can only mean one thing. The annual football versus frats prank war has officially begun. And if you want payback, the Lambdas will have to team up with the Omega to hit them back where it really hurts. Without further ado, thanks for watching. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. There's also the join and thanks features on the channel to support. And yeah, sorry about being late on this. You know, I'm trying to play catch up, also trying to nurse myself to at least back to 50% health. We'll see about 50% health. Anyway, yeah, no, again, apologies. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and I guess I'll catch you all in the next video. Peace.